This is a scent that I'd imagine most people probably wouldn't think I own. It's a very artificial chocolate orange, and it comes in this plastic bottle with a very faded label. It's got a lot against it, but it's a scent that brings back great memories, so it's what I'd class as a feel-good scent, and I really want to speak about it today, but I thought I'd compare it against a essential oil. This one is sweet orange, and it's very much the same sort of aroma without that chocolate note. I haven't found this with natural chocolate oil, so I can't really compare against that, but I thought the two would be interesting to talk about. So you might be wondering, where do the memories of chocolate orange come from? I mean, if you live in the UK and probably around the world, you'd be familiar with the Terry's chocolate orange, and the scent is identical. For those who have tried a chocolate orange, you would know that this is a very different experience to any other sort of sweet or chocolate on the market. I mean, the actual way you break open a chocolate orange, arguably, is by smacking it onto a table and breaking off the little segments. It's an experience just to have this thing, and the moment you break it, you get this sort of burst of sweet orange fill the air, and it isn't something that tastes natural at all. It's very artificial. It's very sort of what's the word I would use? Okay, just artificial is the best. It's got a very unique flavour, and this scent, it's almost palpable. The moment I sort of breathe it in, I can taste it at the back of my tongue, and it's got those sweet and slightly bitter notes of the chocolate. The orange, that's the bit that is almost palpable, and it's something that I've actually used throughout the day. Even at night, I find this incredibly relaxing. Now, the memory I really think of, the one that comes to mind, the reason why I got this oil, is when I went on holiday with some friends about 3 years ago or so. And it's perhaps a little bit of a silly story, but I just remember going to the accommodation we were staying at, and the soap pump that they had there had this very sort of sweet and intoxicating smell that I loved, and I was using this every day, and I just kept on smelling my hands. And it was at one point I just said to my friend that, what is this? I recognise this, but I don't know where. And he goes, oh, it's chocolate orange. So yeah, it was like a light bulb moment. I knew straight away that I was just, I don't know, having some sort of brain fart. I couldn't think what this was, but it's so obvious. Chocolate orange is a smell that you just can't shake. It just sticks with you for life. And the moment he said that, I was just on Amazon. I ordered it, and before I even came back from my holiday, it was posted for the letterbox. And since that day, I've had multiple bottles of this, and it's one, yes, I truly love. It's amazing. Now, I'm going to compare it against this sweet orange. Now, I've said this before, but essential oils, they've usually got more depth to them, so there's a lot more of a scent profile, and I have smelled this before, and it's definitely the case. So this one is okay. That one, it's just like breaking into an orange. Like, there is no way you could say anything else about this. It is fresh, and it gets you salivating. Actually, it's I really want an orange now. In fact, it is that orange peel, the fresh sort of, I can almost feel like it feels tangible almost, the idea of breaking into the orange and having the juice squirt out, the aerosolizes, and they've just bottled that perfectly. It's an orange. It's perhaps, well, it's just very realistic, I would say. I haven't diffused this one before, actually, so I'm curious if that changes at all. But it's incredibly nice, and I wish that they had some sort of natural chocolate scent that I could compare this to, or maybe I can mix the two oils, because I think this would be far less artificial and really quite interesting. So I think for this video, I will go straight on to the aromatherapy test in the diffuser, but I just really quickly wanted to say thank you to all the people last week who watched my Q&A video. I know I said this at the time, but I really loved doing it, and I'd love to do more Q&A type stuff in the future. Perhaps because the video was quite long, I would just create little snippets, maybe just answer individual questions on a separate video, maybe even on a shorts video, whatever people feels good. But yeah, let's go over to the diffuser and try out these two oils, the chocolate orange and the sweet orange. This is going to be interesting. I think I'm going to start this with the very artificial chocolate orange. Now, you probably can't see the label too well on that one, so I'm going to read it out for you. I'll probably just about make out the pure life, but this one, it simply says chocolate orange, and well, I probably should have read this beforehand because I too cannot make that out. It's yeah, do you know what? It doesn't even matter. This is an Amazon special, this one. It's one that I found on the website. I like to think that most oils have some sort of regulation, but I'm never 100% sure. The fact that it's in a plastic bottle and it looks different from pretty much everything I own means I'm a little dubious. But I'd imagine the scent of chocolate orange is very similar across the board. It's going to be based upon those Terry's chocolate orange sweets. Now, this again is just a little reminder. It's well, just it is artificial to the point that it's so different from what you'd probably think of just chocolate as, or orange if you were to compare the two. It's like a weird bitterness almost, like perhaps I should have thought a little bit more about this, but just waving this bottle around, I can tell you now, it's a very strong aroma, very, very sweet. Perhaps it's not even bitter, it is just the sweetness is just triggering some other part of the nose, the olfactory system, into some sort of confusion, and it just isn't quite sure what's going on, but I love it. It, to me, almost tastes sweet. Like I can taste that sweetness from the smell alone. Now, again, from experience, I know this one is quite strong, so I'm only going to put in 4 drops of oil. Pour in some water first. Oh, this is definitely making me hungry. It's basically like chocolate pudding and all these sort of sweets of have you ever had one of those microwave chocolate puddings, the ones in the little plastic pots that have the sort of melt over chocolate syrup? This is what it kind of smells like. The orange has somewhat dissipated, it's stronger in the bottle, I'd say. Oh, but it's so nice. It's not what chocolate smells like or tastes like, really. I guess if you think about how it tastes at the back of the tongue there, it's yeah, it reminds me more of perhaps things like those chocolate coins you get around Christmas. That sort of very cheap chocolate. It's probably more sugar than it is actual sort of milk product or cocoa beans or whatever it is, cacao maybe. It is, yeah, it's a very artificial smell, but I love it. I'm going to be putting this on for the rest of the day. I can absolutely guarantee on that one. It's lovely, really, really nice. One day I'm going to look for a thesaurus and look for some more words I can use to describe aromas, because I feel like there's a whole descriptive palette that's out there that I'm unaware of. So you're just going to have to bear with me on my comparisons here. So it's like a steamed chocolate pudding. That's probably what I'd liken it to. But let's try out this sweet orange as well. Again, from the bottle, I know this one is, well, it's a lot more natural. I'm definitely going to say that straight away, yeah, it reminds me more of like a tangerine actually. That's slightly more crisp and slight sweet bitterness. But an orange and tangerine, they're very much the same. I like that though, and I'm definitely going to put this oil on. So let's try this one out. Now there's something I've got to bear in mind when comparing this sweet orange, and that is this chocolate orange is very potent. It's quite intoxicating, and it's filled the whole room with this sweetness that I think might make it a little harder to sort of make the comparison. Other aromas, I feel like, yeah, they're not as intense. Not that that's a bad thing. I love the strength of this, and unlike a lot of aromatherapy oils fragrance oils, this one doesn't cause any sort of allergies at all. I've had it on for hours upon hours and it's been fine. Anyway, enough about the chocolate orange, or as it does actually say, chocolate and orange, I should say. I'm going to move over to this sweet orange. I'm going to do the same thing, 4 drops though. I think that was even more than 4, but hey, let's roll with that. Move that to the side. There we go, sweet orange. Didn't even put the light on before. Didn't get the full experience of mirrors here. Okay, so this is a sweet orange. Okay, my worries were unfounded. Is that the right word? It was not needed, because this is definitely a strong oil as well. I would say maybe even more so. It's maybe it's just something about orange that I don't know, my nose just seems to pick up on more. I don't know. Oh, I love that though. It's freshly squeezed orange juice. It is the same as the bottle actually. It's just a lot more intense. I mentioned previously that this is like breaking into an orange, and honestly, the same thought applies here. The action of breaking into the orange always seems to get a little bit of fruit juice that just sprays into the air, and mist in the end is just an aerosolized aroma. It's basically the same thing. So I'd imagine you would find it very hard to distinguish between the two of a natural orange and this sweet orange oil. So there's something that isn't that complex about this. It's a simple scent. It's a lovely scent. I don't know anyone who ever says they can't stand orange. I mean, cats don't like it, but that doesn't matter. We're not trying to appeal to cats here. That I know of anyway. So yeah, sweet orange is an amazing scent. This one is from the Homze, and it's another one of these sort of Amazon specials. I don't think it was too expensive. It's a really nice oil actually. And probably the best thing about a lot of sort of aromatherapy oils is I've probably had this for around 2 years now, and they don't go off. I mean, obviously if you have an orange, if you're going to be breaking it open or making potpourri or whatever it might be, there's a lifespan on it, a very short lifespan. And this one, it's the same scent. It's a really beautiful sweetness. It's natural. It's got a lot of depth to it. Like I say, unlike the chocolate and orange, this one, it doesn't feel like it's a background component. You know exactly what this is. It's lovely. It's almost makes me think I'm having one of my 5 a day. I hope someone knows what I mean by that, but it feels like, you know, there's something that I've actually got in the room. An orange. Lovely. Really like this one. I think it's time to sum up the oils at the end of this Scent Saturday. Oh, that's good. That's really nice. I feel like I have to retract previous comments about how a scent in a bottle is different from when you diffuse it, because in this case the chocolate and orange plus the sweet orange are almost identical. In fact, I wouldn't even say one is necessarily stronger. I would say perhaps at a push, if I was really trying, I would say once it's diffused, it's going to be a little bit more intense, but nothing that's that dramatic. That's not a bad thing. It's just a very interesting observation, I like to think. And again, I can't get enough of this chocolate and orange. Now, earlier, I did say, wouldn't it be interesting if I took that sweet orange, and if only I could find an essential oil of chocolate, then I can make that comparison. Well, I couldn't help just take a couple of minutes and have a little look online. And I know I've tried this in the past, and there were only fragrance oils everywhere. It was just chocolate fragrance or chocolate pudding fragrance, whatever it might be. And it was only just moments ago I found a cacao or cocoa, a cocoa chocolate absolute oil. And that's not even a term that I was that familiar with, an absolute. And I think the idea is that you can dissolve these sort of fatty acids inside a product and perhaps make some sort of tincture with it. I'm not too sure. I'm going to look into this one, because this means that you can get that sort of cacao or cocoa scent from maybe sort of chocolate powders. It's going to be that sort of level of intensity and richness and natural sort of scent that I really want to smell. I like the artificial side of this, but only because it reminds me of a chocolate orange that's sweet that you can get. But the components of it, I think, could be far better. They could be more natural and a lot more sort of intoxicating and real. So I have a feeling I might be buying this absolute. So yeah, I thought this was perhaps a little brief, this video. It's a little glimpse into some items that I have. Again, I have plenty more oils. Maybe I have a little bit more time next week to go through some more of them. But in the meantime, I've got to say, I'm likely going to be using this for the rest of the week. This is probably my third bottle of chocolate and orange. The sweet orange is still very new to me, but I actually got to say I really like it. It's a lovely scent, actually. Just trying to think what it might pair well with. So I'm going to try a little bit of experimenting with the sweet orange. But I would also just like to say, hope you've had a great week. And when people say they look forward to this video, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel like I want to make these videos. So that's quite a nice thing to happen. Anyway, I hope you like this Scent Saturday as well. And like I say, I'll try something a bit more in depth next week, I think. So we will speak again soon. I'll see you later. Goodbye.